Yesterday's Blood on Your Shelves BBC investigation has rightly shocked the British public. Tomato products sold in UK supermarkets with labels informing British customers that the purees were Italian-made or produced in Italy were actually linked to slave labour in the Xinjiang Autonomous Uyghur region of China. Our weak and confusing product labelling regulation has allowed a linguistic sleight of hand to occur with, one can only assume, the aim of misleading consumers. So, Minister, I have to push you. What more evidence is required to prove that we need stronger labelling standards that give consumers more information on the sourcing countries of pre-packed products? In the Uyghur region, egregious human rights abuses are taking place every single day, all underpinned by a system of state-imposed forced labour. An estimated several 100,000 are involved in the production of tomatoes against their will. The UN has reported forced labour, torture and abuse. Survivors of the tomato fields cite having to meet impossible daily quotas with physical torture such as electrocution used as punishment for failing to meet these targets. And yet tomato products created through these barbaric practices are lining the shelves of our supermarkets, sold as if they were produced in a completely different country. Sadly, this investigation is just the latest in a long line of reports that show UK supply chains are awash with Uyghur forced labour products. Clothing, steel, solar have serious dependency on Uyghur forced labour. The Modern Slavery Act in itself is currently unfit for purpose. Current laws mean that companies are legally allowed to self-regulate, as human rights due diligence is optional for UK companies. We are now an outlier when it comes to legislation to prevent human rights abuses. The UK has enacted the US has enacted important legislation. The EU has enacted important legislation. And the UK, once again, is a global outlier for slave-made goods. I urge the government to work with me to implement stronger legislation, improve our labelling standards and champion human rights. And to supermarkets, I say all of you are complicit in putting profits above human rights, and I hope the British public do the right thing and make their mark with their pocket in their wallet.